Oh my God, listen. Wow.
Claustrophobia, ghosts and complete darkness, 24 hours underground.
What is it?
Welcome to Most Haunted. People usually associate ghosts with old buildings, castles and graveyards, but you'd be amazed at just how many strange places ghost sightings are reported. And one such place is here, an old disused underground station in London, and it's called Aldwych.
There are 40 abandoned stations on the underground network, and Aldwych is the most intriguing of them all. The station was built in 1907 and was known then as the Strand, as it was built on the site of the old Royal Strand Theatre. It's said the ghost of a young actress has been seen on many occasions. Maybe she refuses to take her last curtain call. The Strand, or Aldwych as it was known later, was closed for most of World War II and used as an air raid shelter. It became a second home to many Londoners of all classes and ages, sheltering each night from the bombs and destruction above. Given the strong associations with the Second World War, we thought this would be the ideal location to conduct a time-slip experiment. Some experts in the paranormal field believe that surrounding yourselves with the costumes and artifacts of a particular period can induce time itself to replay. By spending 24 hours in the tunnels of the London Underground, we hope to experience some kind of paranormal activity. Are there any souls still present believing that the war never ended? Will we meet the lady who walks the platforms, or would the dark, claustrophobic tunnels get the better of us?
To help us with our 24-hour vigil here at the London Underground, we've enlisted, of course, our usual members of the crew. There they all are. Say hi. Hi. We've got Mark on camera. And Martin there, who's never scared even of the dark, are you, Martin?
Never.
And not only do we have the motley crew, but we also have the help of our usual experts. Jason, I know you think it's a little bit strange that I made you wear this outfit, but I have heard that if you wear uniforms, costumes from the past, it can entice paranormal activity.
Well, it's not scientific at all, obviously. It's great fun, and I think if you look at the histories and studies that have been taken place of places where people reenact the past, like manor houses where they have Tudor reenactments, etc., you do get a lot of alleged paranormal phenomena happening when people are in fancy dress and people are reenacting the past. So it might, if you believe in ghosts, make something more happen.
Apart from that, I think it's good fun anyway. Now, Jason, you normally bring the EMF reader with you, don't you, and other bits of equipment, but you're not going to be using any of those tonight, are you?
Well, no, there's a lot of natural electric energy around here because of the electricity in the tunnels which power the trains, so we won't be able to detect any unusual fluctuations.
Now, we've caught things like orbs. We know that they're connected with haunted places. Do you think that maybe we might catch anything here tonight? Not just orbs, but any paranormal activity, because it seems very sort of cold and empty.
I think what's more likely to happen here is that people will just become irrationally scared because of the dark, because it's cold, and because of the rats.
Rats?
Well, it's naturally rats here. They'll be scurrying around our feet, I'm sure, later on. So if you do feel something touching you, it won't be a ghost, it will be a rat.
Thanks for sharing that with me. I'm not happy about that. So did you all know that?
Yeah.
See, they kept it from me.
Jason was laughing now, but the fear was to get to him before anyone else. We had our usual crew with us, but we needed the help of our spiritualist medium, Derek Akora, who would be arriving later. All of us got the feeling we were going to need all the help we could get in trying to find any supposed ghosts.
We've been down numerous tunnels. We've got new guys with you. They do get a bit worried. You get nervous and edgy. They get nervous. And as soon as they hear anything, that's it. And they just don't know what's in front of them. And also they don't know what's behind them. We've been down tunnels and we know all the systems off, the juice is off. And you get icy cold blasts of winds. You hear various sounds, wind changes down there. You hear warm blasts of wind, cold blasts. It just gets things like that. Different noises, a bit eerie at times. The drivers of the train were asked to stay for the night, but for some reason they weren't very happy about the idea and got a bit spooked by it and said no, really. Yeah, I believe in ghosts.
This is the eeriest place I think I've ever been to. It's just so quiet and hardly anybody ever comes here anymore. If you imagine what it must have been like during World War II when the air raid went off and everybody rushed down here to get to the platform and to feel safe. But I think another reason why I feel very frightened is because it's so dark. It's very, very cold and very, very quiet. And this is the very platform where the supposed ghost of the actress is said to walk. In 1907, the Strand station was opened, but strangely enough, it was never very popular with the public, and within 10 years, the Eastern Tunnel, that's the one I'm standing on now, was closed down and fell into disuse. Now, out of all the tunnels that we're visiting tonight, this one in particular has an incredibly weird feel to it, and a lot of cold spots have been reported here, and very eerie feelings.
Before we started our investigation, we had to get a few things straight. This was to be one of the most dangerous places we were to spend the night, and safety was paramount.
I don't know which tunnel we want to go down. We want to go down all of them, don't we?
Yeah, we've got problems with actually walking on rails.
Yeah, even though there's no electricity, we can't walk on the rails. We've got to be very careful about that. And I think what we may do, if everybody's happy with that, is to split up into small groups.
I mean, let's face it, we're going to be wandering through the tunnels of the London Underground. I mean,
People will think they experience things here because it's the irrational fear of the dark. But here, rather than having the moon and perhaps a street light, we've got absolute, complete pitch darkness without our torches, and that will instill a lot of fear.
It's gonna be great.
Do you know the most frightening thing is that Barry is going to be locking us in?
No, he's giving me the key.
Well done! He said, we're going to be locking you in, and he said, is that all right? And I went, yeah. And I thought,
What happens as well if there's an emergency?
Yeah.
You know, we can't get out.
I have heard a story that this station we know was built on the site of a theatre. The theatre was actually demolished to make way for the station. Construction started in 1898, the actual station being opened in 1907. Allegedly, in those days, each theatre had its own leading lady, and the actress of the day objected most strongly to the theatre being demolished. And one assumes that this is now the young lady who has still got a presence here. But I'm very much hoping that this activity will prove the point one way or the other. And it will be very interesting to see the results that it particularly is obtained from your medium.
Well, the story has it that the actress, who's the main ghost here that people have sensed, is actually angry because her theatre, her world, if you like, was destroyed and demolished to the ground in order that this station be built. So the reason she's haunting here and lingering here is through anger and through anguish that something she loves so much has been destroyed.
I've heard that over the years, occasionally there has been this presence, even before the station was closed. Because in latter years, this line had a checkered history, was only open during peak hours, for example, before it was finally closed in 1994. This station does have some paranormal activity. It allegedly manifests itself by a drop in temperature, and one doesn't see anything, but one feels a presence.
Having had no idea where he was being brought to, our spiritualist medium Derek Okora had eventually arrived.
I've experienced a little bit of what we call activity at the back of me. I'm picking up quite a little bit of residual stuff as well. I'm hoping for possibly 3 different individual link-ups, spiritually, rather than the residual energy. I'm very optimistic. I believe that there's going to be quite probably a lot of activity from a couple of individuals that I feel are resident down here, resident spirit people. And I've already got the inclinations of both a male and a female. In actual fact, I pick up 2 females psychically and 1 male. And if I'm correct in my psychic assumption, I feel that at least 2 of these, possibly the 2 females, have been here for long standing of time.
Being dark, of course, we're all frightened of the dark. It comes down to an irrational fear of not knowing what's around us. And so that's going to have some effect here. I think also we may sort of feel generally depressed because of the sort of wartime remembrances and history which is attached to the place. So that will affect people. Whether it's ghostly or whether it's psychosomatic, I may question.
Now then, what do you think of this place then, Derek?
Well, this is different, Yvette, isn't it? It really is. I mean, it's quite stunned me, really. There's energy, most definitely energy, residual energy. I'm also being made aware of a lady who comes here.
Yeah.
And what I feel about her is that this is the way she puts the feelings on me now.
Mm-hmm.
As if, there she is, she's 10 characters, not 1. People who've been down here in the physical, living people at times, and run out of here scared because of this lady, because she walks, and she comes along the tracks, and she says, can they see me? Can they see me? And they're cleaning away. Oh my God! And they run like this. And I pick up all it, because she's reenacting this with me.
Have these cleaners actually seen this ghost?
Yes. Her first name, Sam says, Margaret.
Margaret.
Margaret. Do you know when this is? How long ago are we talking?
Oh, gosh. I feel, wow, it must be way back, because I feel as if the station's not here.
Right.
It's not here. It's going back. There's another lady who she's talking to Sam about. She's the old lady who's white of hair. She's elderly. And she lost her life further on. But,
do you want to walk further
yes,
on?
please, could we? Because I feel as if we want to go further. There's nothing at all, as I'm walking this atmosphere, there's nothing of what we call negative feeling. Do you not sense, like, a portion of people, a lot of people, all huddled together? And it's like, I want to go back to the Second World War time and what have you, and I feel there was bundles of people, massing men, women, children, all coming and lying and trying to be safe from the bombings. And there's the little lady, who's the white hair, elderly lady. She saved a man in other tunnels, and you know, had she not gone and touched the man across his head to bless him, a few minutes later, he could have died and walloped with voltage in his body, but by her touching him, she put that spiritual protection, and he didn't pass at that time. You know, this old lady passed many, many years before. You know how she passed?
Oh.
She fell onto the lines.
What's her name, Derek?
Can you give me the name, please? She didn't want him to suffer the same fate. So she come in protection and did this to him.
So she, basically, you're saying, when you say the same fate, you mean
Yes.
she was electrocuted?
Yes, she was.
What's her name?
I'll just check.
Sorry.
I'm pressing you.
Alice! OK, don't do that to my chest. Alice. Alice Humphreys. Humphrey. Alice Humphreys. She's a real Cockney sparrow.
When you were talking, saying that she saved somebody down the track, do you mean at a different station?
Yes.
And
Come
do you know
on.
what
But she
station?
comes here. She
Why
comes
is she
right
coming
along.
here?
I don't know. There must be a connection with this other one. See if you can get hold of the name, please, Sam. It's most important. Please, try your best. Come on, I'll be your mate. Say it again. Come on, you're getting it through. Aldwych. Aldwych. Aldgate. 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 Aldgate? Aldgate. The connection. That's the connection. Thank you. The man who was saved, linked with Aldgate, actually worked here. But she saved him there for him to come back and work here. Huh? And his connection, he comes back now and again and goes through the thankfulness of him being saved.
Can I just clarify what you're saying? You're saying that somebody almost met their death at
Yes.
Aldgate Station.
Yes.
A woman and ghost, or a woman
An
person.
elderly lady. She
As a
was
person?
a spirit.
She was a ghost at the time.
Yes.
A ghost helped him, and he
Yes.
came back and continued his living job at this station.
Yes.
Connected to the London Underground service.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the way it was described to me. And you see, he was ready in a position of falling. And she came
She saved him.
and did this and stopped him. His hands like this. Okay. Oh, thank you. She was seen doing it on a number of occasions. The vision was seen by people who were either cleaning or and they absolutely bolted.
What, of the old lady
Yes, doing this
to
with the
various
hands.
people?
Yes.
Was that here or at Aldgate?
I'm not sure. It's either here or Aldgate. I feel it will be Aldgate. But because of them, I couldn't understand it. Because of the man's connection here.
With here.
This is why it's coming in the residual energy. Yeah. There are many things that have actually been experienced here in sounds, according to Sam. And the lovely actress named Margaret, she's behind a lot of it.
For my job, to make my job easier, with
Yes.
respect to Sam, Margaret is an extremely common name,
I
particularly
would
in
understand that,
theatres.
yes.
So it's going to be very hard for us to try and locate whoever this is. So if we can have any kind of information that would sort of take the group down a little bit.
I'm trying, believe me, I'm trying.
Should we walk
Can we just
down
want him to
this
come,
way?
you say?
See if it comes to you.
Okay.
Even though Derek had already picked up on the actress that is said to haunt the platform, we needed more information.
Jason, I got Margaret.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's been given to me as Estelle. I feel that could be the middle name because on top of that, it sounded like Margaret, Estelle, sounded like Bryce.
Okay.
Or Bright. It's one of those three names together.
Right, keep walking down here then, maybe.
I'm aware that there's also a man. He gives me the name, Sam gave me the name very clearly. Golden Tom, well known, very thin man, quite tall actually. And he used to take care of something to do with the rails, lines and what have you. And he often walks up and down, up and down. Now he has got a way about him that's neither bad nor good. In other words, when he was in the physical, his personality trait was he'd stand no nonsense. He was a person that, and when he was working, always had a gruff-looking, unhappy face. Very, very, very thin face. You know, showing the cheekbones, very prominent. That's the way I feel drawn with him.
Gaunt.
Gaunt. And if you looked at you, you'd think, oof. And when he's walked here, he is actually, his outline, according to Sam, has been seen on a number of occasions. A number.
That's interesting.
But what he does when he walks through, he makes sure that he is not fully seen spirit body.
Why does he do that if he walks?
Because
What's
he
the
just,
purpose
I
of not-
feel he just wants to, he wasn't happy when he was here. He wasn't. He worked long, odd hours, and I feel would have passed over to the world of spirit in his early 50s, maybe just got over the big 50. And he's held resentment, maybe to his governors, his workers, maybe. He said, I get the feelings of resentment with him in this ether, in this atmosphere. And I feel it was like whenever he saw people, when he was walking and whatever, he'd look at them and he'd, like this. But he purposely, I feel the reason why he's not shown himself full spirit body is because of fear, as stupid as it may sound, that someone would recognize who he was. So he kept himself cloaked, but enough for people to be, you know, the hair on the back of the head's got to notice a presence.
When you say people have seen him,
yes,
who are those people, do you think?
They would be people that were, I feel, passengers, people also that actually worked down here, and I feel it was them who he was trying to not show himself for fear of being recognised. Okay, this man, long, you know, to his hair, unkempt, and long pieces here.
Like big side,
yes.
bushy sideburns.
Yes. And I feel he would have had Polish background.
Oh, gosh, that's interesting.
Polish background. He comes from Poland.
Do you know roughly sort of when this was? I mean, if he's a spirit that's been seen and if he had a connection with working here when he was sentient,
yes.
When was that?
Sorry, I'm
living, alive.
Sentient, it's a very posh word for me.
Yeah. I get a twofold thing with this. I get it well before the Second World War.
Right.
With
How
this
long
person.
before?
I feel strong probability to maybe 50 or 60 years before that period of time.
So we're talking 1880s.
Around that time, yeah. And he was, I feel he was a guzzler of ale, this person. I mean, really liked, you know, more times than enough when he was here physically and whatever, and he was conducting his work, he was...
It's pretty dangerous if he's on the electric.
Yeah, honestly, worse for tear, okay? He'd be...
How did he lose his life?
And he had a light.
Yeah, how did he die?
How did he die?
How did he die, Sam? How did he die? Yes. He had a seizure down here.
And it just went?
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it at all. Are we happy to turn the lights off?
Honestly, I'm very happy.
I know you're happy, you're all right.
Let's ask them to, come on, we're here. Show us action.
Jason, I'm not sure whether you'd like me to say this on camera, but you're not that happy about it.
No, I'm not that happy, but
Why?
I don't think it's anything to do with ghosts.
No.
I just think it's extremely quiet down here. We've been down here all day. It's a very depressing environment, and I don't think that's anything other than
You've been a bit
psychosomatic.
depressed today.
I've been quiet.
Why?
I don't know. Perhaps the ghosts.
Okay, all right, let's turn the lights off then. I really am not happy about it one bit. I'm not.
I'm not really either.
Oh, well, come on.
My suggestion of splitting into small groups didn't go down too well with the crew, and after a lengthy discussion, it was decided that we were all to stick together. But before we set off down the tunnels, Stuart, our rigger, had developed a motion detector that he'd set up along the platform where the actress is said to walk. This would give us a clear indication of any activity along the entire length of the station platform. We were almost ready to go, and it was at this point that Derek made a startling and unnerving announcement.
I just feel, from what I've just been given, a short flash of something, I can't quite believe what Sam has said, that it's going to be opened up down there. Now, I feel if it is opened up from the short flash that I've got, it'll throw everything, religion, what people think of religion, it'll throw the spirit links into upside down, because I just can't believe what I've just seen, what I've just been shown.
Well, what have you just been...
I was told when we go down to the levels that the true inhabitants of the levels down there have not really shown themselves.
What do you mean, the true inhabitants?
Now, you're not going to believe this,
Try
and
me.
it is of no consequence.
You're probably right, but try me.
Down there, whether it's documented or not, there were people The only way I can put it, and he gave me the name. He said, oh yes, they dwelt down there, and they hid. Subterraneans. Crazy?
What are subterranean?
It's there's a lot of information about supposed people or half humans living in the labyrinthine tunnels of the London Underground. It's a story basically which is banded around on the internet on peculiar websites.
It is. There were certain people that cut themselves off from up on the levels and spent the time down here. And those people took on forms after periods of time of levels from the lowest part of the world of spirit, and they crept round those catacombs. Now, Sam said to me, yes, to a degree, this did happen. It is another thing whether them taking on the form, because they crouched down after a period of time and shuffled about like this. And grew hair to certain sections of the body. That, I don't know how many years for this to...
So basically you're saying beware because we might...
Yes, because I feel that as we go down into the atmosphere, we could hear scurrying. It could come to all our ears.
That will be rats.
No.
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
If we hear scurrying, it will be rats.
Okay. If we hear scurrying, if one of these subterraneans, as called here now, happens to come past us, we'll know about it. Because our energy field, our energy level, our life force, our auric field will be touched upon.
It will be dark, we won't be able to see things around us, there will be rats which will make scurrying noises. If it's dark and we hear scurrying, and you've suggested to us that it's something other than rats,
I'm not
our
going to
minds will
suggest.
say...
No, I'm not going to say anything.
With due respect, you've already done that.
Well, you asked me to talk about it.
I know I did, but auto suggestion has been placed now. So if you do hear scurrying, it will be rats. I don't want you to be scared.
Yeah, let's go down.
That's very fantastic.
Okay. I really feel that if one of them is willing to do this, it'll put everything on its head.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm completely myself now.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll see some terrain. Never mind ghosts.
As we set off through the dark tunnels, Derek tells us he's received more information from his guide Sam on the subject of subterraneans.
Old timers that lived for years and years down in these caverns, was that bodily hair grew on a lot of these older dwellers down here, which made them stoop because of no sunlight, and made them stoop into postures that made them look as if they were animal form and animal life. Not the younger ones, because they were young, born down here. There was like little communities of them. So they all would link with each other at certain times, and there would be cross relationships.
So what happened to them?
I feel what actually happened to them, there was some kind of en masse, either plague or at the time of plague, and it wiped them all out. It wiped them out. But there was a small nation of them. It built up over the years, and there was a small nation. So that side of it is not a myth.
Right.
That is truth.
I can believe that people would want to come down here
Yeah.
and live down here to get away from everybody up there.
Yeah.
Do
you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Jason from now on, and you'll see that he, out of all of us, is really finding it hard to keep his fear under wraps.
Well, just stop us for a second. Because I just want to know what it's like to be down here. Yeah. Just turn your torches off. Turn your torch off. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. If you look behind you, there's nothing there. What? Oh my God, listen. Shh, don't move. I think that was my own echo.
No, I heard something.
What was it? I've heard something.
Down that end.
Yeah. Angle, what was it? Somebody went, shh. It's like murmuring, isn't it? No, I can hear that.
Yeah, it's
Echo.
Yeah.
Sorry. How stupid, really?
Very.
Jason, get you.
The further we walked into the tunnel, the more nervous we all became. We had to be careful not to let our imaginations run away with us. As we went through a doorway at the end of the first stretch of tunnelling, some of us thought we saw a shadowy figure walking from left to right across the bottom of the second stretch of tunnelling.
What is it? What I saw, I'm not kidding you, it was like something moving across the bottom, like black. Moving across.
Yeah, as if it's going into the wall.
Well, I don't know, I just saw something moving.
Yeah, but not small, quite like...
How high above the ground?
Well,
I'd say about that.
Here,
Yeah.
like my height.
I saw that.
So obviously it wasn't a rat.
Small. No, I'm not talking about a rat. No,
Yeah, what if there is somebody down there? Yeah, that's...
You see where Carl is now?
Right, Carl? Just another doorway down here.
Yeah, but that's what I saw. It was like somebody, like Carl is there. Are we all happy to go down there?
Yeah. Single file on, please.
So had we seen something or not? Were the shadows playing tricks on our eyes? And Jason was getting more and more nervous.
You all right, Jason?
Don't you dare!
The tunnel seemed to stretch on forever, and we had no idea when or where it was going to bring us out. But our curiosity had got the better of us, and we just kept going.
Look at this. Yeah.
That's our train.
Yeah.
You all right, Jason? Right, we can't go any further, so I think we should head back now because we've hit the end of the line. It was great there, wasn't it? I didn't know the train would be right at the end.
Step, Carl.
So we could go no further, and we were relieved that we could start the long walk back. But as we reached the platform, something unexpected happened.
Why is it going off? Listen.
The motion detector had been set off on the other platform.
Is it still being set off?
Nobody else has been down here. Nobody else here. There'll be a rational explanation. They'll come back and say somebody knocked it.
Yeah, but then you say, well, if no one's down here, who knocked it?
And why are they still going on? You're right. Yeah. Just a bit freaky.
But Stuart's there, which is good, because he knows how it works, so he can check them.
You can see there's a red beam going across. You can actually see the dust particles now, but that's not setting it off. The other way you can set that off is if an object actually breaks a beam itself, and that's why it's buzzing now like it is. Now I set this up before, and it's actually still spot on now. It is in line.
So something has set this off?
Something set it off now, yeah. What? I don't know.
And everybody was up.
So,
And we were all upstairs?
We were all in the other tunnel there, yeah.
We do know the beam was too high off the ground to be triggered by a rat. So had the ghost of the actress walked along the platform and caused the motion detector to go off? We will never know. I decided to have another go at getting Jason to open up about how he was feeling. It intrigued me that a parapsychologist could become increasingly fearful of a place that was supposed to be haunted. Surely he didn't really believe that we were surrounded by ghosts and subterraneans.
I can't explain it.
And as I was saying to you as we were walking down the tunnels, well, Yvette knows, since I knew we were coming here many months ago, I said I didn't want to go there. I just felt odd about it now. That's anecdotal, psychosomatic, psychological rubbish. But nevertheless, it is what I felt. And I can't quite quantify what's happening to me because of what you said. I've been to literally hundreds of places where I've been in very dark places, very scary places where lots of people have experienced very horrific things. And there isn't those kind of tales here. And I can't explain them. I can't put into words how I feel. I just wanted my mum to be with me, which is a really stupid thing to say, but I did.
Well, I'll be a replacement of your mum.
Here we are, waiting for a train at 5:30 in the morning. Sue and Jason and
Me, don't be scared. I know I look like a ghost.
Tell me about time slip.
Well, time slips are a very controversial subject in parapsychology or in any topic. And basically it's where people seem to have experiences from the past, not in the usual way of seeing an apparition or a ghost, but where they interact normally physically with their whole environment, such as a building or a car or a piece of transport, trees, etc., as they used to be. And it's only afterwards, when they've returned to the site where they've had an experience, not realising it was paranormal, that they find it's completely different how they remember it. When they look into the records, they'll find that it's completely changed a long time ago, and the way they experienced it is how it was in the past. And it sounds incredible, and it basically means that some sort of time travel is occurring. We link this to ghosts and spirits and parapsychology because in some instances apparitions have been involved with the experience, where people have met people and they've interacted with them. So it's not as if you're witnessing a recording of something. You're not sort of watching it like people describe the stone tape theory. You're interacting with the ghosts as well in the time slip. So it's almost like the whole time slip and the ghosts are in on the act and the joke's on you.
Okay, come on, are we going to be brave?
It's the rats I'm worried about. Are we walking into the second tunnel as well?
I don't know, let's just see.
This one.
Let's look at this.
If you've got 2 torches, can I have one?
Can I have the strong one and then I can go?
I just don't want to be without a torch.
We can see to the end.
Yes.
Oh!
I don't know how to... What did you see, Sue?
Is there something there at the end, chaps?
Do you want to go in the tunnel a bit more?
No.
No.
Why? Why?
Because I think it's scientifically interesting to stand here.
Thank you. You mean you're not, you know.
I'm not enamoured with the prospect.
Why? Just explain to me why.
I don't feel like I felt earlier on, but I don't like being down here, and Sue is feeling the same as I did earlier on. And you just said the same thing.
So I think you've got to listen to that.
And there is some aspect of safety in numbers, but...
I know, it's not many of us. I do, and even... I just think you've got to listen to that the 3 of us feel funny.
I think you have to
But
listen
what
to
could
this.
possibly be down here that could harm us? But what?
We don't know, do we?
It could be humans as well.
Or...
What is that?
That's me. I just flashed the
Oh,
torch off
right.
by mistake.
That's what I don't know what I'm afraid of. The unknown.
It is very scary, isn't it? Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
No.
That was a squeak.
Right. That's what I don't like as well.
You hear it again?
That'll be a rat, though.
Yeah.
Hear it again?
Yeah, I heard that.
Right, shall we...
Let's go.
Don't run off. Leave me.
I'm leaving you.
It wasn't until later when we viewed the tapes that our editor Neil discovered two strange occurrences. One was this strange light which appeared at the top of the screen and seemed to move towards us in 3 stages. The second was captured at 4:30 in the morning when our producer Carl went down the same tunnel on his own. These have been described as orbs, which are said to be the first manifestation of a spirit. Could these strange events be related to the ghostly happenings of Aldwych Station?
It hasn't been the most enjoyable of investigations I've taken part in. It's not nice down here, I don't like it. I've been down here all day, there's no sunlight. Now, I've lived in London a lot of my life and I don't mind the underground, but this really has quite depressed me. I'm glad to get out of here. It's quite scary being in a place that's deadly silent, deathly silent. And I think, although I can't rationalise my fear that I felt when we were walking down the tunnels, I'm not convinced that it's paranormal or anything other than something to do with my subconscious that I don't understand, but I won't come down here again.
I feel that we've, with the help of Sam, that we've not just squashed the myth, but we've brought to the truth, to the front, what these so-called subterranean people were. People who decided to opt out in the time and come down here, fend for themselves, stay out the sunlight, and what have you. And the myth, apparently according to Jason, not that I know, that these people were half animal, half human, what have you. Well, I can see the logic behind. Maybe the story will just continue on, but I like to think that Sam shed a little bit more light onto the truth.
As for Derek's story about being in contact and reaching out further in his psychic abilities to the subterraneans that live below London City, I find this incredibly hard to even think about. And I'm, to be quite honest, not even prepared to contemplate the possibilities of what on earth he's talking about.
Well, I was quite pleased for when I first come on the investigation, when I come to this level, because I was immediately made aware of a woman's presence, and she made me feel as if I was on the stage. She took me back in thought to a stage. She was an actress, and you know, that made me feel ever so good. So I take it that the theatre was very, very, very strong, linked with these foundations here. I'd carefully noted Jason. He was talking about this sense of foreboding. It appeared that if we looked at Jason's clothing, especially the army coat, energies are actually part of the clothing that people wore. And, you know, this could have been the feelings that were running through the man whose coat Jason has been wearing. Was he going to die?
Normally on these investigations, both for Most Haunted and just in normal investigations that I carry out, I am the person who is rational, I'm the person who's telling everyone else to calm down. Yvette, on these events, is the person who's screaming and getting carried away. And we had a complete role reversal in that tunnel. I was the scared little boy, for want of a better phrase, and she was basically telling me to calm down. There was nothing to be scared of, and I thought that was very interesting. I can't quite fathom that, but I'm glad she was there.
The last 24 hours have been interesting, to say the least, not just for me, but for every member of the crew. These deserted platforms and tunnels may not look much, but they hold many powerful memories for many people.